Hi again. So far, in this part of the course, we've been discussing visual design principles. Now, we're ready to explore some more complex concepts. In this video, we'll discuss a psychological principle called Gestalt. You might remember learning about Gestalt in an earlier course, but now it's time to learn more in depth. To refresh your memory, Gestalt principles describe how humans group similar elements, recognize patterns, and simplify complex images when we perceive objects. In other words, the human brain will attempt to simplify and organize complex images by subconsciously arranging the parts into a cohesive whole. Basically, your brain is wired to see structure, logic, and patterns. Gestalt principles help us better understand how all the individual design choices we've been making come together, and how they might be interpreted by users. Gestalt principles also offer designers a way to step back and review their work from a different perspective. It's easy for designers to get so caught up in the details that we lose sight of the overall project. Applying Gestalt principles to our designs allows us to really notice how our design elements work together. Similar to how we can use multiple visual design principles to create emphasis, several Gestalt principles can be applied to one mockup design at the same time to make visual connections. In this video, we'll cover 3 of the Gestalt principles: similarity, proximity, and common region. It's important to note that there are a lot of Gestalt principles, including closure, continuation, and symmetry. We'll only cover similarity, proximity, and common region in this video though, because they give the broadest overview for how Gestalt theory is used in UX design. Okay, let's define these principles and explore how they apply to design. We'll start with similarity. The principle of similarity states that elements that look similar are perceived to have the same function. In other words, similarity focuses on things that look or behave the same way, and how the user will relate those items. Let's examine how our dog walker app uses the principle of similarity. Here, you'll notice that we use orange to symbolize actions. The dog walker tab across the top of the screen, the selected dog walker checkmark, and the next button are all actions the user can select, and they all use the same color. Even if we go to a new page of the app, the color orange still continues to point users to the action they need to take. This is an example of how color is used to group what we see. Your brain automatically groups these orange elements. Because they are the same color, they are perceived to have the same function. Another example of the similarity principle in action is how every circle on this page represents a user profile. All of the circles have the same visual weight on the page. Whether the user has a profile picture like Sarah M, or uses a first initial like Alice or Sal, your brain automatically makes the connection that these similar shapes represent the same idea, a user profile. You'll instantly make this connection when you see other circles of this size in the app. Next, let's explore the principle of proximity, which states that elements that are close together appear to be more related than elements that are spaced farther apart. In other words, humans perceive objects close to each other as connected. The way sighted people and screen readers read is an example of the proximity principle in action. The lack of space between letters or characters tells you that those letters or characters form a word, and the space between and after those groups of letters or characters let you know that a new word has started. The principle of proximity is also used in our dog walker app. When a user is scheduling an appointment with a dog walker, the app provides a horizontal list of the names of the user's pets: Charlie, Broccoli, and Rover. The user selects which dogs need a walk. The closeness of these buttons lets you know that they're related. And the closeness of the list of dogs to the question, who is going for a walk, lets you know that the question is related to this list of dogs. On the other hand, this question and list of dogs is far away from the recurring booking box. The space between these elements indicates that they are not related. Okay, one more Gestalt principle to cover. Finally, there's the principle of common region, which states that elements located within the same area are perceived to be grouped together. Although it's connected to the principle of proximity, the principle of common region differs because it has less to do with spacing elements apart and more to do with using visual elements to form sections. Here, we have a mock-up of an app created by a UX designer at Google named Kai Wei. The app is called Rostery, and it was created to help college professors remember their students' faces and names in a fun and simple way. On this screen, the app is broken into 3 sections: the navigation bar at the top, the memorization progress graph, and the names of the students the professor wants to remember. Each of these sections contains multiple elements like graphics, photos, and text. Using the principle of common region, your eye automatically groups the content that's in the same area together. In this example, Kai Wei added a border around each group of elements, which is an easy way to create a common region. Let's also check out the principle of common region in the dog walker app. I used a blue background behind our selected content to create a common region. The user is able to quickly identify the items on a blue background as their selected dog walker, and the content on the white background as unselected items. The key takeaway from Gestalt principles is that we should make sure that our designs work with the way our minds naturally organize elements. When used thoughtfully, Gestalt principles can help create visual balance. Visual balance is the sense that a design is equally weighted on both sides of its emphasized center. Visual balance gives the design a feeling of completeness. You can learn more about visual balance in the reading. And that's it for now. You're starting to think like a real UX designer and can apply these Gestalt principles to your own mockups. Good luck!